Hi, hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Emily, and today, I don't really know what this is going to end up being. I had an idea just now and I thought, let's try it, and if it works, it works, and if it doesn't, I guess I'll edit this part out. So it is Library Workers Appreciation Week, and as your local library worker, I thought I would try to do something fun every single day this week, at least Monday through Friday. I don't know if I'll commit to the whole week, but I thought I would try at least, especially on my working days, and give you kind of some fun updates. So because it is Library Worker Appreciation Week, obviously I encourage you to go to the libraries all the time, but this is a week for us. And today at my job we asked everyone to wear a book themed or literary shirt. So I wore my Booktrovert shirt. This was given to me as a Christmas present by my husband's mom, and I really, really love it. My favorite color is orange, and I work with books, so she had this made, and my sister-in-law has a matching one in like a different color though. So yeah, that was today's fun thing that we get to wear. And today's treat, we also get like a treat every single day, and today we got little like bundt cakes, so that was delicious. I picked a cookies and cream one. I didn't take a picture of it. Maybe I should have, but I didn't, because I ate it and it was delicious. But obviously I have to make this fun as well, and let's coordinate a book. And like, I don't know if I'm gonna try to read a book a day. That feels next to impossible for me, but I can try. So sure. But start with, I've got How to Mars by David Ebenbach. I actually finished this book over the weekend and I needed to film it anyway, so this kind of works, and I kind of match. What is happening? So this book is following a group of 6 scientists who have been chosen by a company called Destination Mars to be the first like permanent colonists on Mars, and things go a little wonky. So it's kind of convoluted. It came about because the author wrote like the first chapter as a short story, and he got this idea of like strangers being thrown together on Mars as like a reality TV show kind of thing. So he originally wrote the first chapter as a short story, and then other chapters in the book were also short stories, and then he put them together and made this like narrative out of them. You can kind of tell that it feels a little, I keep saying disjointed in a lot of my videos, but it does. They're all overly, like there is an overarching connection, but you can kind of tell that they weren't necessarily written all together at one point. So we're following 3 men and 3 women, and they're all like scientists in some way. But I will say, because it is the opening line, so it is not a spoiler to tell you this. It's not in the synopsis, but it is the very first line. This ultimately is a novel about pregnancy. So I know that some people don't want to read about pregnancy, like that's not something that they are comfortable with or something that is upsetting to them. So I do want to make that very clear going into it. This whole book is about a pregnancy. Essentially, 2 of the people start having sex, even though they were told, you are not allowed to do that because we don't know what would happen. She finds out she's pregnant, and so then this whole rest of the novel is we are following along as the pregnancy progresses, and ultimately though the relationships, not just between this couple, but with themselves as individuals, and then also with all the other people that is part of this team, and how can they go from being a team to a family, and if they even want that to be what they become. We have a wide range of characters, backgrounds and stuff like that, and I think their personalities, he does write the characters very vibrantly, so even though there were 6, I think they were all very well done, and I could keep them all distinct, which is really nice, especially when the whole book is just these 6 characters over and over. You have to really develop them so you get an idea of who they are. So Jenny is who ends up pregnant with Josh. Josh is the psychologist. They are a couple. Then we also have Roger, who is our geeky, really quiet, meek geologist guy. Trixie is a doctor and biologist from Australia. Nicole is the fire pilot and doctor. And then Stefan, the cranky Danish man, engineer. And Tim, like I said, they just have to kind of navigate each other more so. It's not just about surviving, but like, how do you survive together? How do you get along? There is some minor violence in here. There is an on-page birth and delivery scene, just so you know, pregnancy, and it does also kind of delve into some topics of like grief. There is mention of a suicide that happened, so that's in there, but it's very, very brief. Overall, I gave this a 4. I liked it more than I thought I would. I'm not completely obsessed with it, but I did really enjoy myself. So it's a solid 4. It's a good little book. And it's short. It was a really fast read. It is under 250 pages, so definitely check it out. The other thing that I also really enjoyed is it kind of does read like little short stories, but it is mixed media, which I'm a huge fan of. So we go from getting like first person perspective, like Josh will be in first person, to we get section 19 of the unofficial Destination Mars handbook as written by the founder of Destination Mars. So we get sections of this unofficial handbook. We get like field notes at some point. I've shown this before. And we get some like third person perspective of other characters. There are a couple flashback scenes. So I really enjoyed that as well, that it was not just told as a standard novel format. So 4 stars. I'll see you soon. Welcome back. It is Tuesday. Today is National Library Workers Day, and today's theme, can you guess? Let me stand. It was a color. I chose the flowers, but the color was blue. You were supposed to wear blue today. So we did. And my hair is even blue. It's just, I asked for it to be so dark blue that it almost looks black, and it does, and that's okay. It also needs to be washed. I'm sorry. You just got a close-up of my greasy hair. I'm probably over-caffeinated because today's treat, via myself, is a cold brew butterscotch coffee with cream and sugar. I don't need this, but I wanted it. I was super early to work, and it's National Library Worker Appreciation Day, so I used it as an excuse to get myself a treat. We are on day 2 of me attempting to read a book every single day in honor of National Library Workers Week. I decided to give myself this arbitrary challenge because I can, and I thought it would be really funny if I could actually accomplish reading, hey Eisenhower, if I could accomplish reading a book every single day. I read a lot anyways. Thanks. So I'm gonna see what I can accomplish. He's so noisy. Lay down. Look at that handsome boy. So regal. See, I was gonna put my book cover over here, but I can't do that because that'll cover him. So I'll put it over here. Because I did finish a book yesterday, so I want to share that as my book for today. I'm being a little sneaky with that, but that's okay. I'm just trying to bring you a different book every single day and hopefully have it read by the time I'm talking about it. And I do. So last night I finished Last Night at the Telegraph Club by Melinda Lowe. This is a young adult novel set in the 1950s in California. I don't remember what part. It's not San Francisco. Is it San Francisco? Yes, it is San Francisco. It is in San Francisco, primarily in the Chinatown part of San Francisco, because we are following Lily, and she is a Chinese American girl. Her parents were immigrants, and it is following She's a senior in high school. We're following her as it's a coming of age story. She is navigating her senior year of high school, trying to figure out what she's going to do when she graduates high school, while simultaneously balancing being herself and a good Chinese girl, as is expected of her from her parents and her family. And this becomes increasingly difficult for her as she slowly starts to realize that she's different. This is an LGBTQ plus story, and I thought it was so beautiful. We are exploring what it was like for a young queer Chinese American girl in the 1950s. She knows that there's something different about her, but she can't figure out what it is until she meets Kathleen Miller. And she and Kath become super close. They strike up a friendship, and Kath starts taking Lily to the Telegraph Club, where they watch a male impersonator perform at this club named Tommy Andrews. And it is this journey of her coming to terms with the fact that she is not straight, she is gay, and learning how to accept herself when she has no idea what that means. She knows, but that she knows her family and her community won't accept that about her. So she's trying to navigate this new identity and how to reconcile it with the one she's grown up with her entire life so far. And it is an excellent book. I ended up giving it 4 stars. I did really enjoy it. There were just a few things to me that it didn't earn itself a 5. The writing was fine. We kind of jumped timelines a couple times, and it didn't seem necessary. We would jump into the past to visit, like we would get a chapter from her parents' like POV. We jumped into the past and got a chapter from her aunt's POV. I didn't really feel that those were necessary. I wanted us to stay with Kathleen and Lily. It's also her coming to terms with changing, right? Her childhood best friend is Shirley, and they've been best friends since they were itty bitty. But as they've gotten older, Lily realizes that she doesn't really like the person that Shirley has become, or is like opening her eyes to realize that Shirley's really not that good of a friend to me, but she's all I've ever known, so I've stayed in this friend group. So it's that exploration, right, of growing up, changing, becoming your own person. And it is good. I don't want to spoil anything. It was really good. It wasn't beautifully necessarily like the most gorgeous book, like it wasn't like On Earth We're Briefly Gorgeous, where the writing was just beautiful. It wasn't the same. The writing was fine. It was straightforward. The characters were great. I loved Lily. I loved Kath so much. I think they really balanced each other out. It was great. I kept hitting a point where I knew that something had to go wrong, right? Because there's always a conflict in the story. No matter what the story is, there's always some sort of conflict that has to have a resolution to then get to the ending. I hit a point where I kept going, where's the conflict? When's it coming? And with a story like this, with it being LGBT and there's that secrecy aspect, you know that at some point they're going to get caught, right? Something has to happen. And so I kept going, when is that going to happen? And after a certain point, though, it loses its edge. You build up this dread, the author is constantly going, oh no, no one can find out. Oh gosh, it's going to be horrible if anyone finds out. And so every time she's with Kath or there's something secret, you're like, is this it? Is this it? And then it doesn't happen. I will say, like, the conflict really doesn't happen until we're like 70% into the book, and then a conflict happens. And at that point, I had kind of become desensitized to it. I was just like, they're not going to get caught. And then when it happened, I was like, oh. And it just seemed it felt very fast. The last little bit of the book felt very rushed to me. I kept looking I listened to it as an audiobook, and I kept seeing, you know, the percentage climb up and up and up, and like, there's only 2 hours left of the book, and there's only an hour left of the book, there's only 30 minutes left of the book, I'm at 94%, and I'm going, there still just feels like there's so much left of this story to tell. And then it ends. And the epilogue is a time jump, which I'm not always a fan of. And in this case, I didn't like that. I didn't like that the book ended where it ended, and then the epilogue is 1 year later. And it just was like, boom, 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 the end. So the ending felt very abrupt. It didn't really give me anything satisfying. There were questions that didn't get answered, and it was just left very open, very blank. And I just think it could have been done slower. There probably could have been some parts at the beginning that were cut out so that the ending could have been more fleshed out. But overall, 4 stars. I would recommend it. Obviously, there are some trigger warnings. We have some like racist issues because this is also during the Red Scare and like the communism thing. In America, there is discussions of war. There is some kind of minor like hints of like PTSD. There is homophobia. There is a strained parental child relationship. There is sexual content, but I think that's all. So I'm going to end that here today because I have to get reading so that I have something I can talk about tomorrow. But before I go, look at what this dude is doing. He's just on display. Sir Eisenhower. Hi. It is day 3 of Library Week, aka Wednesday, and today's theme is stripes. So even though it is my day off from work, I still wanted to dress up in the theme for the day. It is a lot of fun to do these every single day, so I'm really enjoying it. And today was We Wear Stripes. Enjoy. And the book I'm going to talk about today is Going Dutch by James Gregor. Now you may notice there's a bookmark in this. That's because I'm DNFing this book. It's awful. It's so bad. I gave this a fair try. This I gave 2 full hours, and I got about 130 pages. I am officially DNFing at page 126 because I just can't do it anymore. We are following Richard, who is this broke post-grad student studying in New York, and he's got writer's block on his thesis, and he doesn't know what to do about it. So, and if he doesn't turn something in soon, he's going to lose his funding and he won't get any money to be able to stay. So he turns to Anne, who is a female colleague in the same program as him, but with a different focus, and asks her for help. And what basically happens is she writes his stuff for him. He tries to contribute, she nixes it and just writes his stuff for him to turn in. And that goes swimmingly, or at least that's what I assume is going to happen. We're also following his interactions with a young man named Blake. So the whole point of this book is he's struggling, right? He turns to Anne, who's going to help him. They kind of start having this relationship where she really just wants company and companionship. She does like him, but he identifies as gay, and he really just needs her help. And he's actively searching for a male boyfriend. He's looking for a boyfriend. So of course, things are going to ensue. The parts that I just got through is he's been on a one night stand kind of thing. He's had a date with a guy. It didn't work out. He's gone to parties with his best friend, who he's also secretly in love with, and has whined about being single and lonely and not knowing how to write and is having writer's block, blah, 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 blah. He's gone to Anne for help. She's already helped him write his first paper. And they've gone to a conference, gotten drunk together, and then they've slept with each other. And that's where I was like, I'm done. Because the problem is, I know exactly where this is going, right? He's going to fall into this weird relationship with her. They might sleep together again. They might not. But she likes him. Even though he's told her he's gay, she's like, I can change him, is the vibe I'm getting from her. Is I'm going to write him papers. She's grown up with wealthy parents. She has money. He doesn't. She can provide for him. She can pay for him. She can do all of this stuff. And she's helping him write his paper, right? And all that she really wants in return is for him to hang out with her and potentially become her boyfriend. Like, that's what she wants. Like, it's a transactional relationship. Meanwhile, he's still getting on like Grindr and dating apps and trying to meet guys and have a boyfriend himself. So of course, plus it's in the synopsis, he is going to end up in like a weird relationship with a guy. And of course, it's all going to have to come to a head. He's going to have to choose. It's going to boil down to, does he go with her or does he go with the man? And it's going to come down to this, like, does he go with the man who offers him what he thinks he wants, a boyfriend, blah, 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 happy, gay, romantic relationship, Eisenhower's back, or does he stay with Anne, who is rich and wealthy and takes care of him and is writing his papers, or is he going to end up wanting to pursue being with this man and she's going to like threaten him or blackmail him because she's writing his academic papers, which is plagiarism, and sleeping with her. Like that, if that gets out, that could ruin him, right? So it sucks. Other reasons, like I don't like the storyline, I don't like the plot, I don't like that we have this air of he has said openly that he's gay, he wants a boyfriend, right? But he sleeps with this woman? So like he's questioning himself, and that's fine, don't get me wrong. If he's questioning whether he's bisexual or not, or pansexual, like cool, give us that. The author doesn't give us that. We don't get this idea that he's questioning his sexuality, that he thought he knew because of this woman. Instead, it's being written as like, well, she's gonna change him. He thought he was gay because he just hadn't met the right woman. And he was so unsuccessful with his male relationships because secretly he's not actually gay. He just thought he was gay because he just hadn't met the right woman. And I hate that. I hate when we portray any sort of queer person as they're just queer or they until they find the right whatever of the same gender or matching expression, and that it is erasure, and I hate it, and I don't like it. That annoys me and is a problem. But also, the writing itself is so pretentious. It is this author's debut novel. That is what I'm going to call it from now on. Not a debut novel, a debut awful. That is what this is. I've just coined something. It is... It's such a try hard is unfortunately what it is. Like, he wants it to be written as this academic and it's edgy and we're discussing the language usage and historical art and literature. And so there's these superficial conversations about the Italian that Dante uses, and it's going to make sense to a handful of people, and the rest of us, I was like skimming it and was like, what is happening? This is so boring and dull. And Richard is a jerk. He's so self-centered. He's so self-absorbed. He has no like perception outside of his own wants, not his own needs, his own wants. He wants her to do this for him. So he's just letting her. And he's so whiny, and all he does is complain. He complains and he complains and he complains about this, about that, about everything. And it feels like even when something is given to him, it's still not enough because it wasn't exactly what he wanted. And I just can't deal with the character. And it feels like even 120 something pages in, he's not going to change. There's not going to be any growth. And that just annoys me. I'm done. I'm over it. So sorry, this is a DNF. This debut awful. DNF. Read it if you want. I don't care. I will not be finishing it. Okay, bye. I'll see you. Hi, hello. It is Thursday, so we are on day 4 of library week, and can you guess what today's theme is? Hint, you can't see it yet. Hat day. So today is hat day. And I chose to wear this hat because it is awesome. This is where I went to college. This is my university. So I wanted to support my university, and this is just a really fun hat to like wear. I wanted to wear a different one. I have like a bright orange hat that has a bobble, but it has like the flaps, and it has like the tassels that are like braided, but one of them came unbraided. So I was like, I don't have the time this morning to braid it. I'm gonna wear this during this whole thing. But obviously a sock hat probably isn't the best choice when it's like 60 something degrees, almost 70 degrees, and sunny outside. It was supposed to be chilly today, so I thought I'd be okay. So I did try and wear it most of the time. I was at work today, but it was not feasible for certain things, especially because I have to wear headphones sometimes, and obviously this isn't work with headphones. But that's not what you're here for. What you're here for is, did I read another book? And the answer is yes, I did. I have finished this book in just a couple days. It is a very fast read. This is My Year of Rest and Relaxation by Otessa Moshfegh. This is a surreal, weird little book. We are following our main character. Do we even learn her name? I don't think we actually ever get her name. That's crazy. I'm just now thinking about it. I don't think we ever get her name. And even in the synopsis, it doesn't actually say. It just says our narrator. That is crazy. Okay, so basically this book is set in 2000 in New York City, and we are following our main character, who is she is single, she's young, she's alone, she's not so far out from college, and her parents have passed away. Both of her parents are dead. She has a bunch of money that was given to her from her inheritance after they passed, and she just doesn't know what to do with her life. She is just stuck. And so she decides that what she needs to do is essentially hibernate for an entire year, with the thought that if she could sleep and actually sleep for an entire year, that she would change, kind of like a butterfly going through metamorphosis. Like, she would go into a cocoon, hibernate like animals though, but go into this cocoon and then emerge changed as a new person with a new identity, just having been essentially reborn. And that was her goal. I'm going to apologize if you can hear like loud sounds or music. My husband is off work today and he is downstairs watching Westworld, and it is very loud. I am all the way upstairs. Anyways, something must have just happened. But we're following our main character and how she is navigating this. And we also get snippets into her life. We meet Trevor, who is her self-absorbed, shitty ex-boyfriend, on again, off again ex-boyfriend, and her best friend, Reva, who is complicated and obsessed with diet culture and wellness and being thin and having money, because we are in New York in 2000, turn of the century, right? And so because she's decided that she is going to just sleep, she goes on this quest to get prescriptions, and she finds literally the world's worst psychiatrist, Dr. Tuttle, who lies to her about what is happening, says she has horrible insomnia, blah, 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 blah. She thinks she's depressed, and this horrible psychiatrist just starts prescribing her pill after pill after pill after pill, and is not questioning anything, is not like checking in with her, just gives her medication after medication after medication. And so we are following this kind of hazy, kind of surreal, following this unreliable narrator as she takes us through her day-to-day of waking up, taking pills, going back to sleep, and just the monotony and what she does and the downward spiral. Like, she basically almost kills herself. Like, because she just doesn't care. It's intense. And so we follow this year-long journey, and it is bonkers. The concept is so surreal. It is so weird, but it was so vivid the writing is really good. I did really enjoy it just because it was so weird. It's not for everyone. I will caution you with some trigger warnings. That there focus a lot of like grief, like the loss of her parents. Cancer is a big thing. Her father passed away from cancer. Her best friend Reva her mother is dying of cancer. There's topics of suicide, obviously prescription abuse, alcohol abuse, very toxic relationships between her ex and her best friend and her. I said death. There is mentions of like SA and eating disorders, disordered eating, disordered thinking, right? Like there's just a lot in here. So be aware of that. And sometimes the writing gets a little rough. But I gave it 4 stars. Like, I don't know what to tell you. I gave 4 stars. Maybe I should not have read this in 3 days, but it felt right to do so. And I just want to take a moment to compare this to this. So both of these are following like recently graduated or in post-grad college students who have hit some sort of wall and are stuck. He has writer's block. He doesn't know what he wants outside of a boyfriend. He's lonely. He's whiny. She doesn't know what to do with her life. She's an art history major. She's in her 20s. She's got a bunch of money, but her parents are dead and she has nothing else. She's got a single friend left and like, that's it. And she doesn't know what to do with herself. So how they both decide to combat that is done really well in one way and really awful in another way. And it just shows like, I was obviously, when I read these similar, like at the same time, I was obviously in the mood for this kind of story, right? Like I was drawn to both of these plot points. This sucked because the characters sucked and the writing was pretentious and awful. This worked because the character, even though she also was kind of pretentious, she knew that and can confront it. She knew she had privilege and was very honest and upfront about the fact that she had money and privilege and power based off of her family situation. And she was actively trying to change herself to figure out who she is supposed to be, unlike this douchebag. So, yes, no. I'm going to leave this clip here. I have things I need to get going on if I'm going to have a book for tomorrow. So, I'll see you tomorrow. Hi, welcome to Friday. It's bright because I'm filming in the evening after work instead of in the afternoon, because on today I didn't get off work until 5. So now it's late and the sun is setting and it's bright in my face. But well, can you guess what today is? Today was dressed as a book character. So here is my costume. Let me give you the full. This is my child's Minecraft crossbow bow. Hi. My husband's windbreaker, my jeans, a black shirt I have that's turned inside out, my Mockingjay pin, I'm Katniss Everdeen from The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins, because it was easy to do, but I'm going to be burning up sitting here like this. Okay, I can't see, but I look amazing, I'm sure, so I'm going to make this short and sweet so that I can not be blinded and damage my retinas. What if I... Oh my gosh, so much better. So, today's book, as part of my library week, can I read a book every single day, is you can't see it. This is Everything is Fine, Volume 1 by Mike Burchell. This is a graphic novel. Let me just completely get rid of all of my light. That's fine. This is how we're gonna do this. Much better. So this, like I said, is volume 1 of Everything is Fine by Mike Burchell. This started off as a webtoon comic, and it is still on Webtoon. You can read it there for free online. They did collect several of it and make it into volumes. There are 2 physical volumes currently in print right now. I don't know if there will be volume 3, if it will be collected. They're considered seasons on the online comic on Webtoon. So there's season 1, season 2, and season 3. It's all online. But so far, like, this book collects, it explains what it is. This collects episodes 1 through 16 of the Webtoon comic. So there's way more, obviously, online than what this book actually is. This is like 250 pages though, 260 pages of comic. But it is for adults. It is not a child graphic novel. It is not middle grade or YA. This is for adults. It is following Sam and Maggie. This is Maggie. Sam and Maggie are a normal couple in a normal house in a normal neighborhood. There is nothing strange about their heads, their neighbors, or their sweet little dog. Everything is fine. This is the story of a couple doing their best to get by in a world where things are absolutely, totally, and unquestionably fine. And so, like, on the back, it says, like, we need to forget, you know as well as I do. It says, I am the happiest I have ever been. This all says, just forget. So definitely, it gives, like, 1984 vibes. We are in this, like, dystopian world where there is government oversight, and our main characters have humanoid bodies. They have these weird giant like cat-like mask heads on, and everything is fine. We don't question it. Everything's fine. But their neighbors are spying on each other. Things are weird and unsettling, and it is very quickly weird and unsettling. And honestly, I don't really know what is going on, but I am in it. I am drawn into it. I did read the first of these online, and then realized that I could get a physical copy. So I grabbed the physical copy and reread it in one day. This is such a fast read. I read this entire thing in an hour. Yeah, this is fine. So they are large paneled. There's not a whole lot of text kind of thing, but it is very fast. But there are definitely some unsettling moments. There are things that are weird. So I'd say check it out. It definitely has that like 1984. I already said that, but that is really all you need to know to go into this. Is it has that same vibe of something has happened, but now everything's fine. We all are fine. We all pretend that everything is fine. We have to forget whatever happened in the past and only focus on now. There are cameras everywhere, and your neighbors will report you to some undisclosed government entity if you fall out of line. So yeah, I just put volume 2 on hold so that I can read it, and I know I'm not patient, so I will probably, as soon as I finish that, go back online and read all the way up. It is currently on hiatus, but the author has said that they will come back and they will write more. He's just taking a break right now. I gave this a 4.5. I really, really enjoy it. I'm really intrigued. I can't wait to read more. But like I said, there is a content warning. I will read that because I think it's important. If you're interested in this going forward, you need to know this is a horror graphic novel. It contains mature themes, suicidal imagery, and depictions of graphic violence, not intended for younger audiences. It says so right here on the very first page. So just because it is brightly colored, like there tends to actually be a lot of kind of pastel tones. We have these kitty cats. It is not for kids. It is violent. But I'm going to go so that I, like I said, can see and change, get comfy for my Friday evening, and I will see you tomorrow. And tomorrow will be the last clip, and I'll let you know, did I complete my goal? Do I have a book for tomorrow? And what the last day of library week is, National Library Week. Thank you so much. Welcome to the final day clip, whatever, of this vlog that I've done. This is my giant coffee cup from Top of the Morning Coffee. absurdly good coffee. I love it so much. It is like a 32-ounce cup, I think. It's called like the Mega Mug. It does say bottom of the morning on the bottom. This is from a coffee company that is called Top of the Morning. It is created by Sean McLaughlin, which is also known as Jacksepticeye here on YouTube. He is primarily a video game YouTuber, but I really, really enjoy his channel. I really like him a lot, and he is obsessed with coffee, and he made his own coffee brand, and so we have supported him. When I really like my YouTubers, I really like my YouTubers, and I like to support them. So today is the final day of library week, and it is my day off. I don't work on the weekends, but today, the last day, was wacky socks. I am not currently wearing wacky socks, but I have some to show you. The ones I wear are just, they're plain white right now. They do say go outside on them, but I have a lot, and I just thought I would pull out some of my favorites and show you. So I've got everything from just, you know, we've got like an owl with books. This is from Good Luck Sock. I only know that because it's right there. This was given to me, I believe, by my father-in-law. My father-in-law has also given me these, Talk Dewey to Me, and it's a bunch of Dewey call numbers for nonfiction. This is Foot Traffic. Again, I only know because it's on there. I've got more owls. This is a super cute, it just is a repeating long sock with this brown owl with like berries and leaves and a red crimsony toe. I love to wear these in fall, but I will wear these at any time of year. Don't let that fool you. These are also some of my favorite socks that I own. I don't remember what the company is, and it's not on here, but these are banned book socks. So one sock has all of the titles of popularly banned books. Like we have The Catcher in the Rye, The Color Purple, Of Mice and Men, The Jungle, Lord of the Rings, Animal Farm. Like we have a bunch of popular titles that typically get banned. And so on this sock, it's the same titles, but they've been censored. They've been blacked out. So I really love these. I usually wear these during like banned book week. So then I also have a lot of spooky socks. So I have a lot of like kind of book themed socks, and then I've got a lot of Halloween-y socks because I do love my Halloween. It's my favorite holiday. This is one of my favorite pairs of socks. It's got all of these fun symbols on it, and lime green purples and potions and brooms and cats, and on the other side of the sock it says later witches. Love these. I've got super long, like thigh-high, knee-high socks. These are candy corn. Love these. And then this is probably my favorite pair of thigh-high or knee-high. So these are thigh-high. These are knee-high. You can tell the difference. Like if I match the toes up. And these, like, what? They seem, why do you love these? Because they're ghosts. I love these so much. I wear them all the time. It does not have to be winter. And that's just a few of my socks. It's almost wacky day for me every single day with socks. I think I own 3 pairs of socks that are solid color and don't have anything written on them. I hate wearing solid white socks, solid black socks, like can't stand it. So the ones that I do own, like the pair I have on, you can see my feet, even them, it says go outside on it. Like it's not even solid itself. And I'm supporting these because they're made by Paca, which is from alpaca, and it is a small awesome business that makes things out of alpaca and in South America, and it's awesome, and my husband loves to support them and buy their stuff. Anyways, but the ones that I do have that are plain are like lime green. I don't have solid color socks that don't say anything on them because that's just me and my personality. There's a sleeping dog in here. I don't know where she went, but she's in here. because of course Kennedy's in here. Anyways, the book I want to talk about today, / did I do my challenge, is, and the answer is yes, I did, which is so crazy to me, but I'll talk about that in a second, is Manhunt. So the book I want to talk about, I repeat myself so often. I'm so sorry. I probably can't sit because you can't see me, but it hurts my feet, so here we are. So this is Manhunt by Gretchen Felker Martin, and this is a lot. So it says on here, the end of the world is nuts. You can see the cover. What it looks like is exactly what you think it looks like. Male parts, because that's what it's supposed to be. So this book is from the top 20 Goodreads horror of 2022. This is one of the books that I was needing to read from this. It is horror. It is not for the faint of heart. I'm going to read the synopsis and give you a brief rundown because I don't think I can describe it concisely. We've got Beth and Fran spend their days traveling the ravaged New England coast, hunting feral men and harvesting their organs in a gruesome effort to ensure they'll never face the same fate. I can't hold it with this hand. Robbie lives by his gun and one hard-learned motto: other people aren't safe. After a brutal accident entwines the three of them, this found family of survivors must navigate murderous turfs, a sociopathic billionaire bunker brat, and awkward relationship dynamics, all while outrunning packs of feral men and their own demons. That explains nothing. Basically, we are in a post-apocalyptic world where a horrible virus known as T-Rex has happened that affects only the male population, or AMAB population, assigned male at birth population. Anyone that physically produces testosterone in large amounts is affected by this virus. And what happens is that all of the men in the world suddenly went feral. They became ultra-violent and they essentially became beasts. They no longer think like men do. They run around on all fours. They've grown fur and extra things. They're all scabby. They kind of are leprous. It's gross, but they basically have just become wild animals where their singular goals are to hunt, maim, eat, reproduce, and then kill. Think zombies almost, but with more primal urges. We are following Beth and Fran, who are both trans women, and they are considered manhunters, meaning they go out and they hunt down feral men, dispatch them, and then they remove certain body parts along with the adrenal glands, because they have learned that in this society, the male genitals are a safe source of estrogen that they need to consume in order to keep their testosterone levels down and stay healthy, to stay alive. Plus we need estrogen for other reasons. People who have like PCOS, like we need estrogen. So they harvest these and they take them back to doctors, or they trade them for supplies, things like that. But they need them. And they also have to ingest them themselves. It's much. Robbie is a trans man who has been alone and is just on his own, hunting men, killing them, and is essentially avoiding everyone because he doesn't want to be mistaken either and be killed for no reason. Because we also have, of course, in this post-apocalyptic world, even though it's all women, right, we still have factions. We've got people who just are trying to survive. We've got people, and then we've got people who are trying to eradicate everyone that they see as a danger, which is where we get into TERFs. TERF stands for Trans Exclusionary Radical Feminist, and they're typically people who believe that trans women are not women. And that's where the heart of the issue lies, is these people don't view Beth and Fran, our main characters, as women. They see them as men parading as women. And so they're like, nope, you're a danger. We must kill you. And it gets into a lot of dialogue and a lot of conversations about that, but set in this post-apocalyptic world. It is very violent. It is very bloody. It is very gory. There are big trigger warnings for that, with body horror, with violence, with blood. There are medical procedures. There is assault. There is rape. There is a sex scene, multiple sex scenes. There is horrible language. There's derogatory language and prejudice, and there's a lot of homophobia, just queerphobia in general, transphobia. There's a lot of that going on here, set in this post-apocalyptic world. I gave it, it's like a 2.75 for me, rounded up to a 3 to be generous. It's just a lot, and I could deal with the violence and stuff. That wasn't the problem for me. It really boiled down to the writing started off really, really good. The writing was really strong at first. I think we had a good balance of the horror and the gore mixed with like the day-to-day plot of what we were going with, but then it just went downhill. The plot started to get hella convoluted. It was hard to keep straight. Were we in post-apocalyptic times where we didn't have power or running water or sanctuary? Because in other places we did. Like, we still had running water and electricity and like refrigerators and stuff like that. And it seemed to kind of waver. Like, it was like we couldn't pick, are we still in a functioning post-apocalypse where just the men have disappeared? Or are we like full post-apocalypse where like the world has collapsed and we are roughing it? It was like she couldn't make up her mind which version of that she wanted to pursue. So it gets a little hazy and it gets really difficult to follow through, because part of like some of the big plot points is that like medicine has denatured or has gone bad. It has, broken apart. It doesn't work anymore. But then we have another scene where a doctor's doing like fertility treatments, and it doesn't work, right? Like, that doesn't add up. And I think part of it crosses a line. You can, with some of the language, it gets really intense. It gets, I don't want to say vulgar, but there are a lot of words that I'm not comfortable using that I won't use, because that's just a personal line for me. The C word in reference to a woman's body parts gets used a lot, and that makes me personally really uncomfortable because I don't like that word, and that made it harder for me to stay with it. Like, some of the word choices is just very intense or very aggressive, and that was just really hard for me. So I don't think I can recommend this widely. I don't recommend that you just go and get it unless you've had some experience with horror that is particularly violent or bloody or gory. I get why it was in the top 20, but it is not for me. I don't believe this was in the top 10. I think this was like 12 or something. I'm almost in the top 10. So yeah, there's just a lot to take in with this, but this was a 3 when I'm being generous. So that wraps up library week, which brings me to, I guess, a question, a point. How did we feel about this? I haven't really done like a vlog like this before. I did a couple like just standard like reading vlogs, like a week long reading vlog, but I never set a challenge like this for myself of, can I read a book every single day this week for National Library Week or National Library Workers Week? And I actually really enjoyed this. I had a lot of fun with it. My husband thought I was a little crazy for doing it, but I did, and I understand I kind of fudged it a little bit where it wasn't that I actually sat down and read a book every single day. Like I'd said, How to Mars, I'd read over the weekend prior. Last night at the Telegraph Club, which I listened to as an audiobook, I had listened to it pretty much mainly the week before. And the same thing with like this. I actually listened to this as an audiobook, which, shout out to the author. I do want to say the narrator was great. I really, really loved that they used a trans woman narrator for the audiobook. I think that just added another level of depth to this, and I do really, really appreciate that they sought out representation for this book, and I really liked that. I believe the author is also trans herself, so that's exciting. We love representation. Anyways, I listened to this as an audiobook over the course of this week. Mind you, I started it this week and I finished it this week. So ultimately, I guess maybe it was like, could I read, 5, 6 books this week? Could I accomplish that? And I did. I'm proud of myself. I had a lot of fun, which leads me to the question is, was this enjoyable? Was this fun for you? Is this something you would like me to kind of attempt again? Or is this kind of like a fun challenge idea? Would you like to see me take on challenge ideas again? Or make a vlog, like a week-long vlog kind of thing where I undertake a challenge, where I try to read so many books that fit a theme or fit a week. But I guess just let me know. I had a lot of fun. So I think I definitely want to continue it, or I want to try it again. Even just while filming this, I got some other ideas for other things I would like to do in the future. So, I mean, let me know. Please give me your thoughts down below. And I guess that's it. I'll see you soon. Use your libraries, visit your library workers, give us love and attention and affection in a totally professional and consensual way. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you all very, very soon. Happy reading, happy watching, happy listening, happy stitching, happy doing whatever it is that makes you happy doing. Be easy with your hearts.